Oh, shit.
All right, Mark, I love it when you do the countdown.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oops.
Greetings, citizens! You're now trapped in a nerd cage with your hosts Mark and Jay. We hope you have a smashing good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, hide your girlfriend, hide your wives, lock up your doors, run for your life, because Titan Goji will be on NerdCage Live. And as a result, that's right, December 10th, 2020.
Put the cookie down! Now!
Kidnap Mr. Santa Claus?
It has begun!
All right, everybody, if you are in the chat right now, moment of silence, put your devil horns in the air for Alex Trebek. Rest in peace. All right, Matt, go, Matt.
Hello and welcome. That's right, you're trapped in NerdCage Live. This ain't just a reaction show, but a debate show and a live discussion on everything that makes people like you and I tick. So thank you for joining us tonight. Please hit that like button and subscribe. I'm your co-host, Jane St. G, coming to you live from Syracuse, New York. And always with me, my man, warrior from Wakanda, fiend from Louisville, Mark Withers. What's shaking, boss?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's
Super
going on,
excited.
man? I'm just really happy to be here. Super excited. And we just got a lot of great love to be going on right now, man. It's great. We got our two, brothers from other mothers, Dion and Matt here, and everything's just, it's great. I'm sorry.
All right, give it up for him.
Jay,
Matthew Farden, everybody. Wrong way. Which way am I pointing at? This way.
You gotta hit the applause thing. Hit the applause sound thing.
Oh my
legit.
God.
Yeah, like the little extra, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that
Yo.
was a nice touch.
Hey, you dig it! That was so funny because Mark went into it, and then all of a sudden he's just like, wait,
Hold on, I hear myself. That's not myself.
Jay put me up to it.
That was awesome. I really like that.
I'm sorry, bro. That's what happens when you show up late.
I deserved it.
Dude, everyone is...
Tea.
Cindy's digging it.
We were at a certain point, Dion and I were ready just to take over the whole stream because Jay went away for a second.
Yeah.
apologize for the delay, everybody. You know, but we're up and running.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big shout out, Paul Tackett, Scott Bannock.
Says, Dion, do Dion now. Don't leave
I
him
don't know
out.
if you want me to do Dion.
Oh.
Oh no.
That's your catchphrase right there. Oh no.
It's true. It's true.
We just start talking about something and Dion just goes, oh no.
No, because right before you came on, Matt just started like talking about, oh my gosh, I really love it when Jason gets the show all hyped up and he starts, you know, doing my spiel there, and also he just pelts out, Mark, your impression, and we just died, and I'm like, yo, do that intro when we come in. I want to see Mark's reaction.
That was great. That was hilarious, man. That was awesome.
You have to get
a better me than me.
You have to get a NerdCage live shirt. Here's the thing. If we ever do like NerdCage live shirts in the future, whatever happens, Jay needs this isn't just like a live discussion, but a debate quote. Yours needs to be happy to be here as usual, and Dion needs to be oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
What would yours be?
Mine would just be like all the expletives.
Oh yeah.
And it would just be a bunch of insert right here. Like the word bubble lines.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh man, but
Right?
we're here.
I guess we didn't even get the chance to properly introduce our guests. So if you were here a month ago, we did NerdCage Live Assemble, and you guys demanded it for us to reassemble. So from Chicago, Illinois, we got from Off the Beaten Podcast, Dion McGill.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I mean, you know what? Just the prep for this, just a half hour before this, I've had the best moments of my entire week. Thank you. And when Mark gets in, it's just even better. Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate you. I needed this. So, like, these laughs are so... I need them. I needed them, and I appreciate you guys. So glad I'm here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
And the man of 1,000 voices all the way from L.A., Matthew Farden.
What's up, everybody? I guess I need no introduction anymore since I just did the whole thing. So.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
But we didn't introduce it properly.
We're just gonna leave the rest of the show up to Matt. He's gonna be all of us for the next hour.
Oh, thank you, man. It's just really great to be here, and I've got a lot of stuff to talk about you don't even know that I know. And I just know it. It's great, and I'm just excited to be here.
And we got Fall One Gaming, our moderator. We have Titan Goji. We have Paul Tackett. Everyone, thank you very much, and give it up to these fine, handsome gentlemen you see on the screen right now.
All right.
Hey, we wouldn't be here without all y'all, so.
Very true.
Yeah, thanks for waiting around for us. We know we were super late, so I always worry like that, because you know what I mean. Like I always worry that like people are like, well, I guess they're not gonna do a show tonight, you know. What's on Bravo, you know? So anyway.
All right, so I guess we'll kick off the show. You know, it's unfortunate that the legendary Alex Trebek, who, you know, I mean, I'm not the biggest Jeopardy person, but Mark, I know you are, and but he was a legend. He how long did he go for? How many years did he do the show?
Honestly, don't know. Like I don't know as much about game show hosts as I do about like movie people.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this much. Like I started watching Jeopardy when I was like in elementary school. It was like something that like I did with my grandmother. Like we would like, you know, when I would spend summers with her, like we would sit and watch Jeopardy in the evenings. We watched Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. And then I just like kind of like became enamored with that show. And I've been watching it probably since like, I don't know, like 5th or 6th grade, you know, and I'm an old guy, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that kind of is a testament to just how long that guy's been doing what he did. And, you know, and he basically just like stayed strong throughout the whole process of him being sick and going through treatment and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? Like he never like faltered, you know what I mean? And that just says like so much about him, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
he's just, man, so many generations grew up with him. And I believe, if I remember reading it correctly before, he is the longest running game show host on like syndicated television history. He started, I believe it was 1978 to 79, but then it was revived again in 1984. So from 1984 up until now, like, he's been the longest running TV game show host, like even longer than Bob Barker.
Wow, that was good. That was gonna be my next question. So more than Bob Barker. Okay.
I was gonna say Bob Barker.
Yeah. What about you,
that's
man?
just
You a
crazy.
Jeopardy guy?
To be honest, I did watch it once in a while. I never really got into it too much, even though I'm a big like history buff. I do love history. The kind of the trivial stuff I wasn't 100% into. But you know, I would, when it was on, and if there was nothing else to watch, of course, I mean, I always want to tune in for Alex Trebek. Alex Trebek is the only guy who he could look me straight in the face and go, "I just wanted to let you know that you're stupid." And I would just go, you know what? That's an accurate representation. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. He's the only game show host where if you did lose, you just felt like an intellectual telling another intellectual that I'm terribly sorry, but that's wrong, as opposed to some guy just going, "You didn't spin the reel right. You're stupid."
Yo, Dion, what do you got, Dion?
Oh man, you know what? Just thinking about Alex takes me back. When I was a kid, right? I used to have a babysitter after school named Miss Lorraine, and God rest her soul, because she was like 80 then. And Miss Lorraine, I would get there, and she would watch Jeopardy. We'd watch Wheel of Fortune. I watched Geraldo when he got hit with the chair. I saw that like when it first aired live. Like I saw that at Miss Lorraine's house. And so growing up, man, I was a huge fan of all those game shows. Price is Right. So I just like, I say probably from like when I was probably like 8 to 14, I watched those shows every Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
You know, after school, Miss Lorraine at Miss Lorraine's house. And so it's, you know, I was kind of like what Mark said. He faced his illness with such grace and dignity.
Yeah.
And strength, you know.
I agree.
And you know, that's just a testament to who he was as a person, and just, you know, and I mean, so many of us grew up with him, you know, like that's a person who was that fifth person or fourth person in your living room every day, you know. And so just sad to see him go, but happy that hopefully he died with his loved ones, and you know, and I'm glad he was able to maintain the dignity that he had throughout life. And so
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mad
What
respect.
I really liked most about him was, like, you could tell that he was like a learned person, that he really had a lot of knowledge. But even like when they were doing the game show, like the contestants, when they would get something wrong or they didn't know something, his response to them was always like, not that you didn't know something, or not that you not to make you feel stupid, but to assume that you did know it and just forgot. Mm-hmm. Like, of course you were thinking about blah, 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 blah. Right. So, you know what I mean? So like, almost like just giving you credit for something that you didn't know. And I always thought that was like a really good quality. Like, I always thought, like, man, I wish people were just like that all the time. You know what
I agree. He was definitely
as a society, like, we have a tendency to kind of knock other people down and knock people down a peg, but he didn't do that. At least not on camera, he didn't. And seemingly he was like that in real life as well.
Yeah,
so
I
just thought that was an amazing quality that he had.
Yeah, it seemed like he was always pushing for you. He was always pulling for you. He was just like, you know, come on, you know, you can do it. Not in like a demeaning way, but like what you said, you lose, he would just go, oh, really? Unfortunately, that's not the answer. But you know, he would just have that demeanor, like he was the perfect teacher. That's the perfect teacher vibe that he had, where it's just like, oh, you know, and I bet if it wasn't the game show aspect of it, he would have wanted you to just continue to learn and, you know, actually get it. And that's the quality that it's just really refreshing to see, especially with family members as teachers. That's what always gravitated me towards him more than the other TV hosts. The other TV hosts are entertaining and they're great people.
Yeah.
But he was the teacher Like when you were on Jeopardy, you knew it was the real deal. There was, it was no holds barred. It was just, this is what it is. The intellectuals are facing off against the intellectually, or Trebek, so to speak. But it was just such a learning experience. So yeah, the points were cool. You would get the points and everything, but it was really cool just like finding out what the actual answer to things was. Like that was the only game show where I really wanted to know what the answer was more than what the prize was.
Yes.
Right.
That's a great way to put it. Yes.
I couldn't keep up with that. I always felt stupid, like I can't answer a question with a question, or doing that reverse. I couldn't do that. I was like, oh my gosh, I was too stupid for Jeopardy. I'm not gonna lie to you, like seriously, like we all love Alex Trebek, but man, everyone on that show just made me feel stupid because I couldn't keep up with a lot of those questions. But like on every show. On every show, there's always that one question that I knew that no one else did on the show, right. And it's like I feel like Ralph from The Simpsons. I beat the smart kids. Like there's always that one question. I'm like, yes, so I could be on Jeopardy.
Yeah, one of my like proudest moments was like I want to say like 10 years ago. Like the answer to one of the Jeopardy questions was Slipknot. And I was like, yes.
No one else knew.
No. Yeah, it was like dead silence from the panel, from the contestants. They didn't know who it was.
They don't listen to Slipknot in the Ivy League? What's wrong with you people?
Right.
All of a sudden, like Trebek looks at the camera and just starts going.
Like this 1980 video game smash shit involved a yellow dot eating other dots. And no one knew it, and I'm like, what is Pac-Man?
Right.
Wait a minute, it hasn't been invented yet, damn it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and then of course you got Final Jeopardy, and it's just like, all right, I hated those freaking people that wagered their whole entire money, and they would miss it and they'd come out with nothing. But then you always get that one smart, dumb person that wagered zero and then ended up winning.
Right. Well, the thing about Final Jeopardy is it's all strategy because you don't know the question before you wager.
Yeah.
And so you have to just kind of be like, well, I think I might know something about this topic, and then you have to think about, well, this is the amount of money I've earned so far throughout the game. So I need this much to win, and that's how much you wager or not wager. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I could never I get when I watch it at home, I get Final Jeopardy maybe 50-55% of the time, but I where I would lose is the wager. You know what I mean? I would not know how much to wager at all. I might get the question right, but then not wager enough money and then lose.
On the corner of Mark's card is this long equation that he wrote before he wrote the number. He's like, well, what if I go here? Okay, go.
And then they count that as the answer. Unfortunately, it's incorrect.
I don't know if I'm a sick-minded person or not, but I used to love it when I watched Jeopardy, and he always had that one hot shot that every single question right. He's flying. He's doing. Hey, Alex, I take this for 600, 500, right. Doing everything. He's just nailing every single question right. And he's unstoppable. And then he gets to Final Jeopardy, and he's feeling all cocky and shit. And he's gonna wager everything, and then he loses that one question at the end, and the dude loses.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, son.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
I always secretly wanted Trebek with his cards. I wanted him to secretly just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was incorrect." So, anyways.
I always wanted him to do one show where he's the contestant, because I always wanted to know well, how much knowledge does he really have in because it seems like he knows a lot about these varied subjects, but he's got the answers right there. So I was always man, I wonder if he would ever consider being a contestant against I don't know, Chuck Woolery and Patsy back, and so you know what I mean. Like, but unfortunately, we never got that.
Best episode ever.
That would have been amazing.
I just wanted Saturday Night Live to just actually become
I was
reality.
waiting for someone to get to that. Before I get to that, real quick, couple chats here. Paul Tackett says, for your information, Ultraman streaming on Tubi. Thank you for that, because he knows I'm not an Ultraman guy. I mean, I'll get on that. Scott Bannock says, I'm great at Jeopardy. You're a liar. No, you're not. So I'm just wondering right now, obviously last stream we talked about Sean Connery. This stream we're talking about Alex Trebek. Now, I'm just wondering right now in the afterlife as we speak, do you think Sean Connery confronted Alex Trebek at all?
Okay. So someone explain to me, what is the history between these two? Because the only thing I know is the whole Saturday Night Live thing.
Yeah, Matt, go ahead.
Oh, well, I mean, there isn't like a beef or anything between them. It was literally just a random, basically, you know, when they did Celebrity Jeopardy. So Saturday Night Live decided to do their own rendition of like if they had random celebrities on that they wouldn't think would know all the answers and stuff. And so they would just have, you know, Sean Connery on. He'd be like, "That's what your mother said last night in bed. Oh, Trebek. Oh." And it's and I always thought that was the best, the best one. I thought. What was the other one too? The best recent one was when they had him, and then Jim Carrey was on, and who else? Who else was it? It was like a big like anniversary one that they did, and they had Norm Macdonald on as like Burt Reynolds.
Wow.
Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, Turd Ferguson. Yeah, and then every time it went to the other card, it would say a different name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I bet you he's up there, and I bet you Sean's like, Trebek's just waiting in line and to the pearly gates, and then all of a sudden he gets in there, and then all of a sudden you hear Sean just go, "That's what your grandmother said last night on the cloud." Trebek.
Awful.
Oh, we're going to hell now.
The best. What was it? Words that start with the letter S, and I can't remember what the question was, but he goes Saiba. He goes no. He goes, it starts with a bloody S, Trebek.
I'll take. What was the one where he goes, "I'll take Latits
now."
Oh yeah, because it was Let It Snow.
Let It Snow.
Yeah, it was like trying to.
And then there's therapist, and he says, "I'll take the rapist."
Yes, I remember that one.
Those are just
therapist.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's right. Jim Carrey was Matthew McConaughey on it, and he was just like,
Oh.
yeah. They would just be like, "Are you even going to answer?" And he's just go, "But what is the right answer? What's the wrong answer? What is life, anyways, man?" And you just
That is somebody I would love to sit and have lunch with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
I would just, that would be a dream. You know, just sit and talk.
He's got more going on up there than people realize.
I imagine he does. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a much more gifted actor than people realize, too.
Oh, yeah.
In the past few years, he's just been cranking out, like, great movies. And I don't know if you guys have seen, like, I mean, it's old now, but, like, season 1 of True Detective on HBO.
I started it. Yeah, it's good.
Amazing. Like, to me, that's his best performance. That's
Shout out
the
to
best
HBO
thing
Max.
he's ever done. Yeah.
All right, we got a question in the chat here from the lovely Cindy Lou Withers. Mark, what do I call you when you correct words that my accent destroys?
Alex Trebek. She calls me Alex Trebek all the time. Like if I correct her on something or I tell her something like some fact that she doesn't really want to know, yeah, she'll call me Alex Trebek. I take it, I take it as a badge of honor.
So Cindy, I'm gonna ask. Cindy has a Southern accent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Well, sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I saw a video recently that was posted on, I think, your page, and it was like a baby, and like whoever was talking, I was like, "Oh, that's Southern." Okay, all right.
Well, we are in Kentucky.
We're in Kentucky, baby.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Bourbon. Bourbon.
Yo, so I was talking to my grandmother on Tuesday after obviously about Alex Trebek and whatnot, and apparently I didn't know this. Apparently, there's gonna. I guess they filmed enough Jeopardy episodes to finish the rest of the year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I heard that.
so we could still, actually, Jeopardy's over now. But I'm just saying, like, at least in the East Coast. But I'm just saying, like, but at least, So for those who want to watch, still want to watch Alex Trebek, he'll be on, on Jeopardy like tomorrow and stuff. So that's cool that we get still get to enjoy what the last bit of work that he put in.
You know what would be a great tribute to him? You know how like when this stuff happens and then all of a sudden they come out with like the greatest box set collection or something like that of like all the Jeopardy episodes. I think they should do something like that where it's like a bundle, kind of like when they did the Back to the Future one, where it's like the HD like version and then you get like a shirt and stuff like that. But I think what would be really cool, especially in these crazy times, is if a large chunk of the proceeds went towards like the education systems and stuff like that. I think that would be a great, and you know what? I think that is something that Trebek, if he was alive, he would be all for.
He would have loved that.
Yeah, I think that would.
I think so too.
So if the heads of the syndication and everything, if anybody's listening to this, well, you never know. That would be a great idea, is to do like the box DVD set of like every, like, if not all of the.
There's no way you could do all of them, but
no, like maybe like
the best of.
Yeah, like best of Celebrity Jeopardy and best of from like certain decades, and,
or Jeopardy All Stars or whatever, or Jeopardy College Edition.
You gotta go back to when they had the computer on there. I watched those episodes when they had Deep Blue, and and competing against the IBM computer. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get some of these chats here. So Scott Bannock says there's been 35 episodes. Cindy says the last episode airs Christmas Day. Paul Tackett, I speak proper Queen's English. I've lived in Louisville 50 out of 53 years. Wow, okay. Wow, so he's definitely a full-blown blooded Louisville man.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Bourbon country.
Yeah. Because once you get here, why would you leave? Like, why would you go anywhere else? It's like that kind of a city.
I've never been. I'll have to take a trip down there.
It's nice. I went through there when I was visiting family in Ohio, and then we went down to Tennessee. We went to Nashville for the summer NAMM show, the music convention. So we got to go through Kentucky because one of my dad's friends is in Kentucky. So we were able to stop and just like enjoy. I like Kentucky. I like it.
Yeah, never been. And I'll have to pop into Louisville because I got to say something right now. Believe it or not, Mark and I have not been in the same room together in 10 years.
Nope. Yeah. I mean, the last time that like I've seen you face to face, I was on tour with the 7 Day Summit, right?
Yep.
And we were, what was the name of that venue?
The Lost Horizon.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Oh my God, the Lost Horizon
forever.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I gotta take a trip to Louisville to see all the the tour stuff and hang out with Mark for the first time in person in like a decade.
Forever.
Yes. That's gotta happen. So COVID, if you're listening, stop whatever you're doing right now.
Go away forever.
Exactly. So these two can at the least meet up again in 10 years.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm seeing there's like 15 people in the chat right now. Everybody hit that like button. It helps the algorithm. It helps the channel. Please hit the like button if you're in here right now. Pretty please and thank you. So gentlemen, anything else on Alex Trebek that you guys want to get off your chest before we maybe transition?
Let's talk about this petition to have LeVar Burton replace Alex Trebek.
Oh baby.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, it just went up like today, I think it was.
Today. Yeah, just today it started.
I just listened to LeVar Burton's podcast last week. That dude, he can do whatever. Man, Reading Rainbow is
Reading Rainbow
was everything, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's so funny talking like these memories, man. He's taking me back now. I'm like, oh my God. I remember sitting in my room, Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow and Star Trek The Next Generation. That's
right. Jordy.
Butterfly in the sky.
He hasn't, very similar to you, Mark, he hasn't aged a day.
Thank you.
Sounds the same, looks the same. I don't know how old he is. I think he would be an amazing.
He's got to be my parents' age.
Amazing replacement.
Oh, and Roots.
Fly twice as high.
How could I forget Roots?
Oh yeah,
Roots. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
where it all started.
Yeah.
Get him in there. I think it would be fantastic. I think you should do it.
Scott in the chat says only if he wears Jordy's visor. Wait, he doesn't. No. Wait, he doesn't have the visor anymore. He doesn't have the visor anymore on Star Trek. Didn't he?
Like in the most recent films, Like he stopped wearing it and stuff like that.
He got
But it's
surgery,
funny
right?
that you said that, Scott, because I posted something about this petition, and my friend Dave actually like said that exact same thing. He's like, only if he wears the visor.
Only way.
Hey, shout out. We have Scribe Productions is in the chat. Shout out to Adam. He's very, very talented musician and producer and animator. Thank you for taking the time to be here, Scribe. Very, really happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
I would like to make one quick shout out because I do know he might be listening. If he's not, he'll catch up on the podcast. But my buddy Joel back from Oswego, he's one of my oldest high school friends. He is celebrating his birthday today, so happy birthday to Joel, and also Bill, who's watching. No, not a birthday, but just like shout out to Bill, Steve. But yeah, the biggest one is Joel's birthday. So
happy birthday, Joel!
Happy birthday!
And yo, Dion, I never said it. Happy Veterans Day, Dion. Dion served our country.
Yeah.
So everybody,
Happy
please
belated
wish
Veterans
Dion
Day.
happy Veterans Day. I know it was yesterday, but Dion, you were in the Army and you were in Iraq, right, or Afghanistan?
Afghanistan, yeah.
Oh, thank you. You
Yes,
guts
thank
and
you for your
glory,
service,
man. I couldn't do it.
Thank you,
And
brother.
same to Adam.
Yep.
Adam Scry, he's a veteran too. So happy Veterans Day to these fine gentlemen. Any
Veterans
veteran
Day
in the
to
chat
Adam,
right
for
now,
sure.
happy Veterans Day. We appreciate you. We love our country. We love our military. So thank you for all you guys
thank you
have
for
done.
Your service.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Absolutely.
I didn't want to forget that.
Oh, no worries. I was thinking, when I saw that petition, I think one of you posted it right before we kind of came together.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
one of those people I never would have, his name never would have popped in my head, oh, he should be the new host. But the minute someone said it, I was like, perfect.
He'd be great.
Yeah, I saw I saw that post on. It basically showed up in my news feed from one of the groups that I'm in, like one of the film viewer groups.
Oh, nice.
And somebody said in that original post, like, I never realized that I wanted this until I saw it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
And that's exactly how I felt. Like, as soon as I saw like that petition was happening and saw his name, I was like, perfect.
Yeah, I feel like he's been away from TV for so long. I would love to see him on primetime, network TV. The only thing is, I thought, to be fair, Vanna White did a pretty good job when she filled in when Alex was getting treatments done. But at the same time, I can't picture her leaving Wheel of Fortune.
I mean, it would be an apt replacement, I feel like, because she's been doing Wheel of Fortune for over 30 years, maybe 35 years, and
still beautiful, by the way.
Right, and you know what I mean. Like, I think that keeping it in the family, so to speak, you know what I mean. I think that she would be a good full-time host. Yeah, and it would make sense for her to transition over. Yeah, you know.
I wonder if she could do both at the same time.
I was wondering that too, but
where they film.
Well, the thing depends on, because I remember when I did audience work for shows, for game shows, like I did audience work for that child support game show, which was Ricky Gervais and he was Karate Kid.
Ralph Macchio?
No, Savage. Dan Savage, I think.
Ben Savage? In the Wonder Years?
Oh, maybe Ben Savage. Yeah, it was one of the Savages. I remember. Very nice guy. And then also, what was it? Common Knowledge, which was with Joey Fatone.
I've seen that show. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice guy. But yeah, usually how they do those is, it depends on where the sets are. So if the Jeopardy set and the Wheel of Fortune set were like on the same lot, then they maybe would be able to do back to back. They would just jump over to the other set, but it would definitely be a little difficult, especially because when they usually do tapings, it's usually they do 4 straight episodes in a row.
Right.
So if you're doing and what they usually will do, ruining the movie magic, but what they usually do is, so they would have us for the first show, the second show they would move us around, or they would make sure that we had maybe put like another shirt on or something.
Different clothes, yeah.
Exactly. So it just looks like it's another day for every single episode. So that's how they keep up with production schedules and everything. Is they usually do 4 tapings a day.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I remember hearing something about that, and like after I heard it, I started to like pay attention to like because I watch Jeopardy every day pretty much, and like I would notice like the shows that are later in the week, the contestants look a little more tired than the beginning of the week.
That's why you were late.
I didn't watch it today.
Mark, it's all good, dude.
But
I'm messing.
No, I know. But yeah, I do notice that. Like when, you get to like Thursday and Friday, it's like you can tell they're like a little bit worn out. You know what I mean? They're a little slower on the draw. And it's like, that makes sense. If they're doing the entire week all at once, back to back to back to back to back, after like a couple hours, you're going to be like, all right.
Yeah, because usually, and especially if Trebek was just doing that one show, then he most likely, because usually they do it like they do 2 sections, so usually Tuesday, Thursday, so they'll do four episodes and then 4 episodes Thursday for most of them. So he most likely did like 8 episodes a week of Jeopardy, with 4 of them being back to back.
Wow, it's a lot of work.
I got one more thing to add before we transition. Just dawned on me. Alex Trebek, that man had balls, because didn't he, please, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he, like, his house got robbed, and he tackled the intruder and, like, start fighting him?
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he probably tackled him and then said, that's incorrect.
Well, no. Then someone broke into his house, and he tackled the guy.
Wow. I did hear about that.
It was I
need to read up on that.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it happened like 5 or 6 years ago.
Fact checker Fardo is on the case. Here we go.
But he actually came after the guy and tried to take him down. I'm just,
Wow. I know that LL Cool J did that.
And so did Ozzy. Ozzy Osbourne did too.
Yeah, Ozzy did that too. Oh, yeah, like LL Cool J, like somebody broke into his house and he like tackled the guy and broke the guy's jaw.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I believe it, dude. That man is jacked.
That guy.
Swole, dude.
Interestingly, I don't know. So like, I watch a lot of UFC. There's a UFC fighter named Anthony Smith, and this would have been like maybe 6-7 months ago. An intruder came to his house, and he, encountered the guy, and he did an interview on ESPN, and he was like, the dude took all my shots, man, and he just wouldn't go down.
Wow.
Professional fighters, they fought for like 10 minutes. He said the dude would not go down. He goes, he's taking my shots, we're wrestling. He said, I was like, fuck.
When he was there, just like, did like a ref jump out of like the garbage bin and then just hold his arm up?
I think he like disengaged and called the police eventually.
Oh my God.
Right, I mean, like, what are you going to do? After a while, you just got to be like, all right, bro, you earned it.
Right.
Dude, go ahead and take it.
Look up that interview if you get a chance. It's hilarious because he's like explaining it, but he's basically just like giving the intruder compliments. Like he was like, he took like all the hits.
Wow.
Wow.
So I do have the article. I did find the article.
Wow.
There's let's see. It is on CBS 4.
Oh, boy.
And the title is hilarious. Half-naked Alex Trebek chases suspected burglar.
Wow.
In 2011.
Okay, so it was a decade ago. Wow. Still, that would have made him 71.
Alex is a beast.
Yeah.
It basically says, let's see, collective hush passing through the packed house inside Google's Building 40. Blah, 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 blah. So basically, he chased the suspected guy down. Then it says Trebek was injured, but he hobbled back to his room to call security. The woman was later apprehended.
Oh, it was a woman.
Trebek
okay.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I don't want to discredit him, but Unless this woman was like a Bertha or something, you know, like
it could have been like China. You know what I'm saying? You don't know.
Fair point. Yeah, it could have been.
I don't know. I mean, if there's like a mugshot of this woman, I want to see it. First and foremost, I'm gonna be like, you know, fuck you, lady, and the other thing, I'm just gonna be like, and if she's like a beefy gal, then I'll be like, my man.
I'm still just picturing them like chasing her and then just flexing like you don't know.
But still, that was Alex at 71.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
man,
crazy.
you know, man or woman, the fact that the 71-year-old man is defending his turf, man, respect.
She's just freaking running. She's just like, and then she just hears, "Are gonna take takedown for 1,000."
Oh no!
And she's just like,
The one and only.
Oh, shout out to
maybe
Jessica
she's-
Staggerwell.
maybe
Thank you for
she
coming in.
Maybe she stole some jewelry or something from his wife. He was defending his wife.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, if there's
Yeah,
an
I mean,
intruder
yeah,
in your
we know the
house,
story.
take him out. You know.
Love it.
Yep.
All right. Anything else on Alex Trebek?
He was a
Let's
great
move
man.
on to the
He
next
was
topic.
great.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Actually.
he will be dearly missed.
Yeah, he will be missed.
Yes.
Rest in peace. You know, thank you for making me feel stupid all these years, but entertaining us as well.
Yes.
Terrific host, terrific man. Rest in peace, and I hope he's just kicking back in heaven right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alrighty then. So, this is what I've been aching to talk about. So, as COVID keeps making our lives worse and worse, Mortal Kombat has been delayed indefinitely. The reboot, I'm saying. So,
Not a surprise. Not a surprise, unfortunately. It's just such a weird year. I know we have to keep doing, you know, I'll stay out of politics as much as possible. I know we have to do everything that we have to do, but there's a lot of things you can't just like shut down for years. Because there are going to be just such economic repercussions for all this. And there already have been.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean, I think that, you know, the producers of like the Fast and Furious or whatever that's going to be called, Fate of the Furious, the final one. So I think that they had the right idea early on. They've only moved that release date once.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, we're going to release it next year. You know what I mean? And when I heard about that, my initial thought was that's what everybody needs to be doing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're literally at the end of the year now. There's no hope for it's a complete wash, and it has been a complete wash for probably like 6 months now. Like we've known that even if theaters open, it's a confidence thing. People are not ready to go back to the theater and feel comfortable. Most people aren't, you know. So while it's sort of understood that like, okay, there's going to have to be a ramp up, we have absolutely no light at the end of the tunnel with this COVID thing. So you might as well just like say 2020 is a complete wash and just set all of your movies, you know, set all of your release dates for the following year. I said that back
set your
in
clocks forward.
yeah. I mean, the only thing about this news that made me happy was in the back of my mind, I was thinking, all right, well, Mortal Kombat was a pretty small budget. Are they just going to throw it on VOD? Apparently, they really want this to come to theaters, so that just makes me think, okay, great. So Warner Brothers obviously believes in this movie.
Right.
So, you know, so that excites me. And you know what? I'm willing to wait. I will wait for the trailer. I'll wait for the official release date. It's just, I'm just going to accept, you know what? And another thing, too, that I read is that, yes, the movie was done filming, but they were planning on doing reshoots, but then COVID happened. So apparently they still want to do reshoots before they release the film.
I think they're doing the reshoots now, aren't they? Like I think that's what's in progress now, and that's part of the reason why it's not going to be released in January.
They should be, because a lot of stuff, unfortunately, I haven't been getting too much, but productions have resumed, like especially like driving around where I live. There have been a lot of like the yellow signs that they have where they have like the code words for the set. So I've been seeing a lot more yellow signs around town and everything, and I have seen, and like productions have ramped up, but yeah, that should be the case. But I just don't know how big they are, because I have gone past ones where it's like the productions are still ridiculously big, even though they're having like restrictions on how many people on set at a time. It's you still, even if it's just like a maybe 10 background as opposed to 50 background, there's still like an entire crew that they still, you know, they can't just do a skeleton crew with those type of budgets. So
and they were filming in Australia, so I don't know if they're doing reshoots here, you know, in Los Angeles, or if they're actually reshooting in Australia too. And I know Australia was really struggling down there too, you know, dealing with, you know, COVID and whatnot.
Might be the case because they tried, especially when they were doing like Batman and stuff like that. They were filming in you know, Britain, and then they started up, and then they closed off again, and then they started back up, and then more people caught it on set, and they closed it down again, and it's literally just like a teeter-totter effect. It's just going left, you know, up and down. Speaking of the
Batman, Dion, they're filming in scenes in Chicago.
Oh yeah. I have a friend who works down at the Thompson Center, and they've been closing. They were doing some shooting inside the Thompson Center, or right outside of it, and they've been closing down that downtown area, which I haven't been downtown in a couple weeks now. So, so I think it's, you know, it's interesting because if you go downtown Chicago now, during the day it's still very sparse, and so at night I imagine it's a complete ghost town. So you know, one, for safety precautions, is probably the best time ever to be filming here in this city particularly, you know, and then you know, getting all the scenes you want, especially if it's nighttime scenes and dark.
Yeah, and I'm sure with the PAs, with the production assistants that have to keep the crowds moving along, I'm sure right now this is probably the best time for them to be working, because they don't have to worry about too many incidences. Because I've seen ones where they're working on the perimeter and some people get upset because they're like, I have to go through this way, and it's like, I can't do anything. We're going to be filming in about like 3 minutes.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's easier for them, better for them, safer as well. So that's good. So yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, and of course, WandaVision got postponed to January.
Right, which is not that big of a deal because, you know, we know that it's done. I think that scheduling has more to do with like the releases of other things.
Like Mandalorian and whatnot.
Yeah, like Mandalorian, and like Soul is going to be dropping on Disney Plus. And, you know, since we know that other things like Falcon and Winter Soldier is delayed, and some other things that are coming out are going to be delayed, it makes sense to like take the stuff that you have and spread that out, so you still have content. Because if you just hit everybody with like 3-4 different like pieces of content all at once, when all that stuff's over and it's been watched, guess what happens to Disney Plus, you know? So I think that it has more to do with that than anything else.
We're in such a now sort of era. And I think maybe like a while ago on one of the other podcasts, we did talk about this, but people need to just learn to just wait. They need to wait. I remember even when I was growing up, I remember going, oh, did you hear about like the new Scooby-Doo movie or the new something that's coming out? Yeah, it's coming out in 2 years. And it'd be like, 2 years? Hot diggity damn. Well, I guess we're going to wait. You know, it's just like that. I remember when movies they would announce the movies, and I think they would tease them properly. But now they kind of just like, they say nothing, then all of a sudden they just throw it all at you, and they're like, and it's coming out in 3 months, or it's doing like this, and everyone's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, you know, and the release windows have always, you know, gotten progressively shorter too. So that's kind of trained us to be like, okay, I might not be able to see it right now, but in 6 to 8 weeks, I'm going to be able to see it. And so like that has kind of that's also kind of like made its way into like our programming as far as like streaming and things like that too. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, I understand with the content. It's, I mean, of course, I'll be biased because it's the industry that I'm in. More content means more jobs, more opportunities for everyone to be in things, but they still have to find that balance where, you know, it's quality over quantity. And I think we've been seeing a lot of great things have been coming out. Don't get me wrong, a lot of incredible blockbuster movies, but there's a lot of like in between stuff that's like, it's good to have a decent amount of things in between, but when you're like throwing like there's one major blockbuster that comes out and then just like 30 or 40 things that just go, here you go, and you're just like, did you watch all that? Yeah, I tried to, but like half of it was just like, it was crap.
It does happen.
Quality over quantity, but at the same time, I'm still happy that just employs people more, and I'm all for the employment.
Right.
I think of a movie like Avatar.
Yeah.
Please say the director's name for me.
James Cameron.
James Cameron.
Thank you. With the first one, he kind of, had a approach that he wanted to do, everything he wanted to do. And now for the second movie, they're like, I had to design new cameras for this. I had to design, he's like,
Right.
There's no rush, baby. Because when you see it, it's got to, Avatar is the one of the few movies. I actually saw that movie 3 times. I went and saw it first time. I went 2 weeks later and saw it in 3D. And then I was like, I don't know if I liked it better. And I went and saw it a third time. I saw it again. And, like kind of what Matt just said, the quality of it is going to be worth that wait. And like whenever I think about like movies, how long they take to come out. When did Avatar come out? Like what year was that?
2009?
2009.
Yeah, something like that. Like
and
it was right after high school for me.
And he's
Right.
like, yeah, I'm coming out with a sequel. Like that.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna
ready.
do like 4 sequels. He said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
When I
5 movie
I'll
arc.
believe it when I see it.
There's a
Right.
difference. There's a difference between. So there are great directors, but there's a difference between great directors and innovative directors.
Yes.
And James Cameron
Yes.
also being a good director, but the thing is, like, he's also, what I also respect about him is he's just fascinated with everything. Like, he literally, especially when he did Titanic, the main reason why, he put the love story in and everything because he knew what Hollywood wanted, but the main reason he did it is because he's fascinated with history and he was fascinated
Right.
with the mechanics. Like, watching the back, regardless of whether you hated the movie or you liked it, when you watch the behind the scenes, the actual sets that they made of like of the ship and everything. That movie, and at the time, that movie was like the largest budgeted movie, which I think at the time was like $200 million, which today's standards like
That's
20.
a standard. Yeah.
Yeah, but with today's budget, like with inflation and everything, I think that would be like closer to 500 million or something like that now.
Yeah.
But like, and then when he did Avatar, he was just like, he utilized the new technology and created these sets, and it was massive. And so now we know that, especially like when Dion was saying, he was like, oh, I have to make new cameras for like the sequel and stuff. So we know, regardless of whether you love James Cameron stuff or you hate his stuff, when you watch it, goddamn, you're going to be like, oh my God, because he's such an innovator and he's so fascinated by the engineering aspect of movies.
Yeah, for
Right.
me,
And
I pick and choose with his movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not all going to be hits. You know what I mean? Like every director has, like, as Campia says, like a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
But that said, like, to sort of touch on what you were saying, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he makes a movie, he makes it in such a way that it influences other directors and then pushes the genre forward, like pushes like the industry forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's only like a handful of directors that really do that. So you have to give them, the respect for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not putting anything against, like what I was saying, the other directors, because of course, Quentin Tarantino is an incredible director. He's a great director. Right. He's not innovative because obviously he does a lot of like camera angles and a lot of stuff that he was influenced by. Not saying in a bad way. He's just, but it's just he doesn't do like he didn't do like a scene and decided to create like an entire like rig setting that then becomes like the standard, because that's the thing. And especially with his like James Cameron, I mean, I'm pretty sure like when James Cameron came out with his stuff, like that's when Michael Bay got influenced, especially when he did the Pearl Harbor scenes and he did all that stuff. He saw the massiveness of the scale and was like, damn, I want to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and, I don't know. I mean, a lot of you guys are probably too young to remember what life was like as far as like what movies were like before, like movies like T2. Like, you know what I mean? Like when that came out, that changed the game. That changed everything.
Yep.
And then you started to see like other directors take like pieces, like different techniques that were in that movie and use them in their own movies. And then the whole like industry kind of like went up a notch in terms of like filmmaking. You know what I mean? And there's only a handful of directors out there that can do stuff like that.
Yeah. I'll never forget when Avatar, and I remember this also happening when Titanic came out. With both of those movies, Time Magazine doing like 8-page articles about James Cameron and just like how he made the movie. You know, like everything he did to get it on the screen. It's just like, yeah, that dude is he got a fine wife and that dude's a boss. Like, I love it. Love it.
Awesome.
All right. So we'll open up the floor. You guys got anything for us?
I just want to show this real quick. Someone asked, "This is what's in my cup."
Oh, yep. I saw Cindy asked that question earlier.
Tazo T-Bay, I didn't want to get too crazy tonight, so keep it low key.
I thought this was gonna be. I thought this was just gonna be. You know, Dion was gonna be like, brought to you by Dion Mustard.
Excuse me, will you pass the grape palm?
Why, yes, I will, good sir.
Awesome.
I guess.
That's good though. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say. So I guess looking into 2020, obviously it really feels like Wonder Woman's gonna get delayed again. It's not official yet because But the thing is, they're pulling all the like tie-in comics off the shelves of comic book stores and whatever.
Right.
So I feel like the next big movie coming out, it's gonna be on Amazon Prime. That's coming to America too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Man,
coming to America too.
Whatever. They better stop delaying my boo. She want to be on the screen. They better help her. Let's do this. I want to see her. I want to see everything she got to offer. What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh.
And as much as I think, like, you know, it's a difficult, like, needle to thread, right? Because as much as I think that the right thing for these studios to do is to sort of delay indefinitely, you also have to think about the theaters, and like you have to think like, well, these theaters are not going to have any content to play. You know what I mean? What happens to them? So I don't know. Like, you know, what do you do in that situation?
Mark, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, there's just only so much, you know. There's only, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence because it's just like, yeah, the government can just like print off money and, you know, but money's like a whole construct. It's a whole like money, currency and everything is created by governments and created by people. So of course they can just print money. But at the same time, with how the balance of things is, you can't just keep racking up the debt. Like the deficit just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's, you know, we gotta come up with a solution. We gotta come up with something. Regardless of whether this is going to be a lame duck session and everything, like we have to, our government officials, both sides, all sides have to come together and figure something out instead of just like sitting there in their ivory towers and just going, oh, well, we're doing all we can, but you know, blah, 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 this and blah, 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 that. It's like, I just want people to just stop pointing the fingers and just like come together and just get stuff done. Your citizens are suffering. Like I said, I'm not going to get into too much politics because this is a non-politics show, but we all just need to come together. It's a lot simpler. I get it than it sounds, but like the simplest thing is the best solution. We all have to come together and go, our nation is suffering right now. We have to do something or else we're just going to see tens of millions of more Americans into poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I want to get some of these.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say something a little different, but Scry in the comments just said what I was totally gonna say.
Yep.
A minute ago. And I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Like, I feel like, especially at this point, because for example, I'm working from home till June. Like my bosses, my employer's like, we are not coming in until the summer at earliest, and I don't even think we'll be going in then. And I'm kind of like surprised and wondering, like, I thought by now these big, huge studios would have started making a pivot towards smaller productions.
Yep.
Whether it's independent films or something, you know, like something outside the box. And actually, this relates to something, and I know Mark made a comment about this, and I would love to hear your thoughts, Mark, was Quibi. Quibi was like, I was very intrigued by the concept. I just didn't want to pay money for it, like with what they were offering. And I was not quite seeing enough to be like, okay, I'm ready to pay the money. I would see something, I'm like, I want to see that. Oh, I want to see that. I'm like, okay, 2 more, I'm going to pay. And then it folded. And I'm just like, you know, like a way that you can have smaller production staffs, smaller budgets, and still create compelling stories, you know? And so I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. And I don't know if that's exactly what scribe meant, but that's something that's been in my brain for sure.
Well, I mean, go ahead, Matt. You had something to say.
Oh no. So basically, just like a short response. The problem with this, I love that the independent stuff is starting to finally thrive. But the problem is we're in a generation, we're in a part of our history right now where it's like the majority of Americans, like how you said, I love the concept, it's incredible, I don't want to pay for it. And the problem is these companies are just throwing it right into there's a difference between starting just like at the bottom of the rung and going up, as opposed to they're just going straight up to, like Disney Plus and like everything like that. They're like, let's just throw this to the top. And you can't do that because a lot of people are very hesitant because they have to, regardless if it's $14 or $20, that $20 might be able to help go towards utilities, might have to go towards rent, anything like that. And a lot of Americans are just going to have to be stingy with their budget. So even if they started it at like a couple dollars or $3 or $4, and that's the whole thing, that's the profit margin that unfortunately gets in the way of everything, is because everyone just wants to go to top tier right away instead of continuing to build it up. Even if you charge them like a couple dollars per person, there are 330 million Americans. And then if it's international, think about that. That $2 to $3 adds up to hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. So you're still making money, and like what you were saying, Dion, like create these things, but also have like a smaller budget. If they were able to have a smaller budget and do that, then they could definitely afford to do $1, $2, $3 a month or something like that, and that'll be more like appealing to folks. So I think a lot of it is just the corporate side of it. Yeah.
I think, and oh no, I'm sorry. And I was saying, I think a lot about, what's his name? Black director,
Jordan Peele?
the main Medea, the character.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
Oh, Medea, yeah, Tyler Perry.
His movies don't cost anything, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's known for.
He was able to create his own studio. He actually has his own like studio lot now. I haven't had well, of course with COVID and everything, I haven't had a chance to actually like see it and everything. But I heard it's like it's a great feat. He's doing a great job, regardless of whether I like his films or not. There are a few of them that like really made me laugh, and I respect it. I respect what he does, and he also is creating a lot of opportunities. So it's like, that's.
And you also have like smaller production houses like Blumhouse, for example.
Yep.
Yes.
That their hallmark is like making movies on the cheap and releasing, and if they make a modest profit, that's still a win.
Yes.
Right.
I think that's going to be, you're going to probably see a lot more of that in the next couple years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until we kind of get over this hump.
Because kind of going back to what you said earlier, like I know Warner Brothers wants to put out a $200 million, movie and make 100, however much they're going to make. But the reality is that that's not happening right now. And as we push back, we, kind of like, and I asked you guys before you even start recording about AMC. Right. Yeah. The idea that AMC might have to file for bankruptcy and maybe there's no support, like that just blows my mind and kind of terrifies me too. Right. That's like one of my places.
We need to get out of this. Oh yeah. We need to get out of this mindset of, which is kind of like the recession that happened in 2008, like with the banks and everything, and General Motors. It's like we have to get past this. We have to get past this mindset of too big to fail. Yeah. Anything with the proper leverage can literally spiral it out of control, and this pandemic has just proved that. I mean, Disney's lost hundreds of millions of dollars already in 6 months, and they've laid off people, and like Disney's like the biggest company in the world, and they've already laid off 30,000 workers who have like worked for them for decades. It's just like we have to get out of this concept of too big to fail, and it's just it's a balancing act. We haven't been balancing the middle and everything in the lower. We're not pulling everyone up as certain aspects used to be back then with companies. The companies have just gotten too corporatized, And I understand the corporate side of it, but at the same time, like there has to be a push pull and a give,
Well, I like to add another component into that. I really think that a big problem is that we are seeing like the entertainment industry as different spokes on a wheel, right? Like different like sectors, right? And they all kind of have like this common problem. And I think that what they need to do is sort of come together in a like kind of like what you were saying a few minutes ago, Matt. Like I like, for example, I think that the studios should be working with NATO, like they should be working with the theater owners, like to figure out, a way, like what can we do to keep you afloat? And like, can we do a campaign to like make people feel safe?
Yeah.
Like they need to be working with the different streaming services to try to figure out like, okay, like what's the right price point if we release, like, if we decide to release this big budget film, like what's the right price point where it's a win for us and a win for you? Like, nobody's really working together. And I think that if all these different segments could kind of do that, then they could find a way to make all of this kind of manageable.
Yeah.
But nobody's really doing any of that right now. It's sort of like a fend for yourself kind of a deal.
Oh yeah, exactly. The whole thing is that they're just cutting off at the top. They're literally just going, oh well, sucks to be you, and they leave, and then all you have is like this huge amount of people, this backbone of the companies that are just going, especially just like when they were talking about cutting 30,000 jobs from the Disney parks, but then they reinstated the salaries of like the top earners. And regardless of if you make your money, that's great. There's nothing against that. You're at the top, you're doing all this stuff and everything, but that's always going to be a sting in someone's mouth, and especially the employees, where the person who's supposed to be taking care of them as they're doing their jobs is all of a sudden cutting off a bunch of people just so they can continue to reinstate their salaries while people are still trying to put food on the table and everything. So there's a disconnect. There's such a disconnect. We have to have more of an understanding of a lot of this stuff, and it's.
Mark, you made a great point too. Like when I was, we had talked about the AMC and their renting out theaters thing. When I went to their website and looked up like how they were cleaning their theater, like they have this huge page,
right?
All the detail. I was like, oh, shit, that's better than my house. I think if more people knew that, they would feel better. And that's what, you make a perfect point. Like people need to know that, like, that the theaters are teaming with other companies who are telling them this is how you keep people safe and, going through these best practices, and that it can be a positive, pleasant, safe experience,
right.
Which is great. And because, I want, I love the little theaters too. So I'm not just focusing on AMC, but that's like one of the theaters I go to. Century here in Chicago, Century Grand Landmark is like probably my favorite theater in the city.
Right.
And just like I just want them to have things to put on that screen, and I definitely want people to go, so we can keep these businesses going. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Like not to play like, Monday morning quarterback or whatever, but like if we can like kind of flash back to like, late summer of this year, like when Tenet was due to come out, when Unhinged was due to come out, like what should have happened is that the studios should have organized with the theater owners, and just basically basically come out with some kind of campaign together and just say like, hey, these are the practices that we are going to implement starting now, so that people have an idea of like what they're getting into, and then just keep that going. And then on top of that, you release one movie, maybe it doesn't do what you want it to do, but you have to have that momentum. Because if you if you just release like say Wonder Woman's the next one that comes out, if you release Wonder Woman 84 and it underperforms, you can't just withdraw again and just be like, we're just going to push all our movies back again, because we're never going to get to a point where people feel like it's going to get back to normal. they'll never get back there.
Yeah, that's the wheel. That's the wheel that's now starting to turn over on itself, because like what I was saying, where they had like a blockbuster and then they start pumping out 30, 40, ones that just are garbage at the box office. They can't afford to do that anymore now, even with their big ones. So now they're under even more pressure to make sure that the ones that are supposed to be the blockbusters are going to be good, because then if those are the only ones that come out and people don't like it, then exactly that they're going to go, well, they're going to spend hundreds of millions on the thing, but then they're only going to make like $30 million or $20 million. That's not even going to pay the rest of the salaries of the crew and everything. Right. So yeah, they gotta, I completely agree with you, Mark.
Well, I want to see more like small budget films again, if any good's gonna come out of this, because think of like Reservoir Dogs or Clerks, something like that.
Yep.
Like, bring something like that back, like where the movie just takes place in one room or one location, and it can still be good and it can still make money. If it's good, it will make money, Right. It ain't always about like big spectacular budget, So I'm hoping we're gonna get more of that moving forward, and that'd be like absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Right.
I think we just need
people from each part of the industry to be courageous with that, because if you do have a smaller budget film, chances are that is going to go to streaming, because they're going to be like, it's going to be less of a risk. We know that, we know that we didn't really spend that much money on it. We can make a bigger profit if we do it that way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think that's the dilemma you face. We just kind of need like some leaders in that industry to just be like, okay, it doesn't matter. Like, we're going to take the risk. And if we lose on this one, we lose on the next one. There's small losses, but at least we can get the ball rolling.
Exactly.
There's a really interesting interview, and I'll send it to you guys so you can watch it. And anybody in the chat, if you haven't seen it, or if you want to, I can maybe Jay put it in the description section. But there's an old interview of Frank Zappa, I think from the 70s or the 80s, and it's him basically talking about the industry. He was, first off, fantastic musician. Dweezil Zappa, his son, is incredible too. I met him at the NAMM show. Very nice guy, and just as crazy in great ways as his father. Crazy awesome at what he does. But I remember watching this old interview on YouTube when I was in high school, and it was an interview of him from the 70s and the 80s, and they were asking him about the music industry at the time, and he was talking about all the different things, and he was just talking about before there was more risk. There was more risk, there would be the big, he's like, regardless of whether you liked it or not, there would be the big fat cat guy at the top who had nothing to do with music, and he'd be like, I don't know, we'll see if it works. Throw it this way. If it works, cool, awesome. Hey, we tried it, blah, blah, blah. But he said now there are people who are coming in and it's getting corporatized, and they're going, oh, no. It's guys going, we know exactly what the people want. Mm-hmm. We know exactly what they want. So they're not taking risk because they're already acting like they already know what it is, as opposed to the guy with all the money who's just like, let's see if it sticks. And I just remember that one interview, and that can pertain to the entire entertainment industry. And it was just amazing how in the 70s and the 80s he predicted what was going to continue to happen, and ultimately is happening now in the future.
Right.
So, but yeah.
All right. So it's getting close to 9:30. Anybody in the chat, pop something at us before we wrap this up. And, of course, I'm going to give Dion and Matt the floor to promote their material as well. So last calls right now, everybody. Last call, because it is getting late here in the East Coast. For some of us, it is a school night.
Last call for alcohol.
Last call for alcohol.
It's only 6:27
You ain't got to go home.
Oh, Paul. Okay, Paul just popped something in here. Drive-in. He's got a point there. Drive-in theaters could probably really take advantage, but the only thing is how many.
Right.
Dude, the biggest drive-in theater near me closed last year. Like last year, end of summer, they were like, I can't think what the name of it is. It's out near West Chicago, and it's amazing. I used to go there like 3-4 times in the summer. They would do the double feature, sometimes triple feature. Totally like folded. They couldn't get anyone to buy the property. And it was a big thing. It was a big story here in Chicago because that's where everyone went. And now we're seeing the rebirth drive-in concerts and movies, and like that's probably one of the positive things that's happening in the, like that entertainment coming back.
Wow, Adam Scry just said there's only one drive-in theater in the state of Texas.
Wow.
What? It's just Texas is so big,
In
like
Texas, there's a lot of open space. You think that they would?
that's what I'm saying. I got one here. There's one near Syracuse, actually by where Matt grew up in Minetto there.
Yes, the drive-in.
Yeah, the drive-in in Minetto, New York, which is about 30 minutes north of Syracuse.
Yeah, that's one of the very few still active in New York State.
Yeah, but only thing is with winter coming, you can't really have people sit in a cold car, and how the hell, and of course, paving the snow plowing and everything else. So it's gonna be tough, but Paul Tackett did make a good point though that I think what he's trying to point out is that drive-in theaters is probably like the safest bet right now.
I hope they stick around this time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they start to build more of them. Like, in the next year, 2 years, like if we did see like a true resurgence of them, maybe that's what saves the industry.
Yeah. Rachel Krosick says she's got one in our town, and
so actually, the one where she lives, Kevin Smith was just there. They did the Jay and Silent Bob.
The Jay and Silent Bob tour, reboot tour.
They did it as a drive-in.
Yeah, they came through. They came to Albany. Unfortunately, I missed it. I wanted to go, but I missed it. It was just my schedule didn't allow me to do it.
My friends are lame. I couldn't get nobody to go with me because it's by car. So you pay like $100. It was $125 for the car.
Yeah.
And so my friends are lame, and I'm like, I don't go by myself. So.
And of course, Fallen One Gaming says, did everybody was everyone getting PS5 or Xbox? I'm waiting.
I'm waiting. Well, what about that? Which one is going to have that Miles Morales game?
PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5.
In fact, Paul Tackett mentioned it earlier. Miles Morales was launched.
Dude, I saw the first 22 minutes of the cutscenes yesterday. Like I just sat and watched the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Dude, that game is the
All
truth,
right.
man. I don't even play video games, but
you say that now. You say that now.
Gotham Knights.
But us gamer nerds, we're gonna pull you in, Mark. We're gonna lure you to the dark side. We're gonna
We'll see. These games look good to me, man.
That Spider-Man.
We're gonna seduce Mark. We're gonna seduce Mark holding the controller like, hey Mark, room for one more. You want us.
That Spider-Man you guys turned me on to, that's a great game. It's beautiful. It's like those open world kind of games. Yeah, man. I'm gonna wait on the PS5. I hope to get one, but it won't be in this first wave.
I will be the test guinea pig then, because luckily, and especially because of my roommate being a manager at GameStop, he's got two.
Shout out to Bill. We love you.
Yep. He just brought it home today. He sent me a picture. We've got the PlayStation 5, and we also have the digital Xbox One X or Xbox X, right?
Series X. I'm going Xbox. So, y'all can fight me. I'm going Xbox. I don't care.
I've never been.
I will say this. Damn, the Xbox.
It's faster. It's faster. It's been proven the Xbox is faster, right?
Yeah, you just all Bill did is just go boop, and it just went boink up.
But
done,
to be fair, yes, Xbox faster, but that's not the reason why. It's the loading times don't really matter to me because it gives me time to take a shit, take a piss, grab a snack.
All the stuff you gotta do.
Yeah. But no, it's for me. It's just for me. I just I've always it's Gears of War. Gears of War is the game that is the reason why I go Xbox is Gears of War. It's the exclusive there.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So I'm just waiting. So I'm just really waiting for Resident Evil 8 and the Batman Gotham Knights. No, those won't come out till next year. That's why I didn't buy. That's why I didn't buy a system at launch, because there really wasn't anything. I know there's the Miles game, but there really wasn't a whole lot. There really wasn't a lot of launch titles. So I'm just gonna play the waiting game. But the plan is to get Xbox when Resident Evil comes out.
That's how Sony was able to pull a lot more people, I think, because even Bill was talking about the releases, because this morning was the release for the first wave of PlayStations, and then a couple days ago was the first one for Xbox. The Xbox crowd was nothing compared to the PlayStation crowd. He was just like the PlayStation crowd. He had to break up like almost potential fights and stuff like that, and it was just like a lot more people are going nuts over the PlayStation over Xbox. So whereas Xbox has a lot better like hardware features and stuff like that. PlayStation has a lot. When Xbox unleashed all of their specs and everything, PlayStation just went games, and everyone was just like, "Oh, okay, yep."
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm not gonna dog anyone for getting PlayStation. I'm not. Like I said, they got Miles Morales,
sure.
so like you know.
Well,
and then Paul Tackett says,
no, I'm just kidding.
Black Myth Wukong. I don't even know what that is, but he says that's the game he plays. We'll have to look that up.
What kind of game is it? It's like a martial arts game?
I was going to say with the Woo in there, kind of does sound like it.
Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
And see, I'm more of a Nintendo guy, and you know what? Guess what? Zelda, Hyrule, the Calamity, Age of Calamity's Hyrule Warriors is coming out next week. It's a Zelda prequel. I'm stoked. And then, of course, Tuesday, the 17th, is the Mortal Kombat DLC. So I'm looking forward to that, even though I'm still scratching my head over Rambo. But I'm looking forward to the Mortal Kombat DLC.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah. I just bought This Is Us Remastered on PS4, and I'm enjoying it. It's a zombie game. Not
The
like
Last of Us?
Yeah. It's different. It's very cinematic, very beautiful. So yeah, I picked that up just the other day, and I'm enjoying it. So that's Spider-Man, and then Apex Legends. I'm just playing that constantly. So yeah, it's great. You know, I wasn't a gamer before the pandemic, but you just need to zone out. It's just perfect.
Dion, shout out to your podcast. I was having a field day watching you play Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, you?
There's a video. Yeah, Dion's got an Off the Beaten podcast on the YouTube channel. There's a video of him playing GTA 5, and it's pretty great.
my goal for 2021 is focus on the YouTube, and it's funny because I bought a PlayStation camera during pandemic to play games and kind of like do the streaming a little bit. So I've been playing around with it. So yeah, it's it's fun though, just to be doing stupid stuff and talking to people. It's just so weird. We're living in such strange times.
Right.
We do. But man, what a time! Regardless of how crazy things are right now, what a time with technology to be stuck at home. Because I mean, how were people during the Spanish flu, the epidemic in 1918,
which lasted like 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because people kept going out and
I'd be doing like the
gathering and stuff.
And history's repeating itself, unfortunately.
I don't know if this is myth or true, but just sitting here, just like sewing myself into a shroud. Your life.
just as long as I'm still working, you know. It's scary, but as long as I'm working.
Yeah, that's good. You know, we can, like how we get to connect. You know, this is great. At least we have this. At least we have this. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we can adapt. I mean, come on. You know, the human race is still here after thousands and thousands of years. It's like that's just what we do. That's just what animals do. Is we adapt. So.
Let me tell y'all, because I don't know what your personal, because I know two of the four have significant others. Cuffing season this year is real, and they say it's hard out here for a pimp, so it's really hard out here for me. Because I'm like, I don't even have a pimp game. I'm just out here like, please don't let me be sitting here in the snow by myself. So, just shout out to you gentlemen who have seen, I don't know if you have a significant other, Che.
Not at the moment.
Yo, Mark and Matt, thank your lucky stars, G, because I'm telling you, rough out here. Oh, no.
Okay, and before we plug everybody in, Paul Tackett just mentioned it here. It says, check out Godzilla Apex. For those who don't know what Godzilla Apex is, Scry, if you're still here, that's his independently run series that he has on his channel, Godzilla Apex by Scry Production. It is
cool.
Really, really awesome.
Definitely check it out.
He's a one-man operation. He does all the animation and sound effects and music himself. The guy is dedicated. So there you go, Scry. I just wanted to give you a shout out because I know you're here and I know you got some something lined up for me too. So, and we will definitely have him on NerdCage Live for sure in the near future. We're looking forward to having him on.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So wait. Let me just ask. So he does animation?
Yes, he does animation, and he does a lot. He used to be a DJ back in the day, so he does a lot of cool production music and whatever.
He knows what's up.
His like remixes of stuff that he does is fucking straight fire, dude, for real. And like I said, Mark, I mentioned it to you, but if we need like more bad music and themes, we gotta hit up Scry for that. So there's your plug, Scry.
Hey, yo, man, I'm gonna check that out for sure.
It's a me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And he's a funny dude because he's kind of like one of the punching bags on the Monstrosities family. I just throwing that out there. Throw that out there, bud. Please don't.
And I've checked out that show over there, like Monstrosities.
It's Godzilla Apex Sky Productions. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I've checked out Titan Goji.
Yep.
I checked out that Scare show that we talked about before.
Scare Tactics.
Dude, it's been
Skeptics.
so great.
Skeptics. I'm sorry. Skeptics.
Skeptics.
That's right. New episode this Friday, every Friday. New episode.
Okay, cool.
Gotta plug it.
No, it's been great. Seeing all there's so many talented cats out here, man.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. So, kudos to all you cats. And I'm just glad I'm in good company, man. You guys
Absolutely.
keep me motivated. Keep me motivated.
I think if there's any silver lining, with like COVID and with like the quarantine and stuff like that, I think that it is sort of like brought out like this sort of like this birth of like creativity, as far as streaming and as far as like YouTube and things like that, podcasting. A lot of us would not even be thinking about doing any of that stuff had this not occurred. So, not that I wish that this happened or that I'm happy that it happened, but this is sort of like a happy outcome out of something terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's always, as bad as it ever gets, there's always a silver lining. There's always something.
We'll make it through this. We will all make it through this, and that's why we appreciate everyone hanging out here every Thursday night with us here at NerdCage Live. That we're getting through this together, and this is like our escapism. So we appreciate everybody in the chat. We love you guys. We see you here all the time. We appreciate the support. It means so much to us, like more than you know, for real. So Dion, we're gonna wrap this up, man. So Dion, the floor is yours. Promote your material, homie.
I got nothing, G. No.
I know that's a lie. I got the podcast, so.
Yeah, you know what? I'm. I do my Off the Beaten podcast thing.
Link in the description.
Man. Yeah, absolutely. Check out the website. I'm currently doing NAPOD POMO, which is National Podcasting Post Month. I actually took the last few days off, which has been great. And I'm actually going to post tonight. So as soon as we're done with this, I'm actually going over to record for that. And if you don't know what NAPOD POMO is, it's a challenge based off a National Novel Writing Month. You post an episode a day for 30 days. By the end of the month, 30 episodes is the goal. So I'm 10 in and doing good. But the show is about Chicago people, Chicago life. So even in the series I'm doing, I'm exploring Chicago in a much different way than I do normally at the show. So please check it out. Let me know what you think. If you hate it, let me know that you hate it and why. Is all I ask is why you hate it, and we'll go from there. I appreciate man, getting together with you guys. This made me so happy today, man. I'm telling you, I'm gonna go in tomorrow and at least have a great smile on my face. And as soon as this pops up, I'm gonna listen to it again. And so appreciate you guys so much, and just thank you. Thank you so much.
No, it's an honor to work with you, man, and it's a blessing to have you as our
here.
friend. I consider you one of my friends for life, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I'm glad I got more family in Chicago now.
Yes.
All right, so Matthew Farden, the man of 1,000 voices. Where can everyone find your work, and let the world know?
Jeez, how am I going to beat Dion? Well, I do voice stuff and things, and you can.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying it in a good way, man. You hit all the points that I wanted to. You can visit my website at matthewfarden.com, just my full name. You can see my commercial animation demo, also agency contacts if anybody's looking for a voice. I've just been doing the grind, man. Just doing more auditions. I actually just booked a small gig with a friend of mine who owns a studio in Charlotte. His friend, who's a videographer. So hopefully I'll be able to show that soon because they're still working on shooting it and doing the commercial. So hopefully maybe next time I'm on, or maybe whatever happens, I'll be able to show you that. But besides that, it's just doing the grind. It's just doing the auditions and hopefully continuing to potentially have good news for you guys in the future. But exactly what Dion said with everything. You guys are my extended family. I feel really good to know that I've got a friend in Chicago. I got a friend in Kentucky. I got a friend. I've got my college buddy from Syracuse. We're all still talking. And this was like this, even though I'm doing all the auditions, I'm doing everything. This is the big thing that always is something I look forward to doing whenever you guys have us on the podcast. I love the chemistry between all four of us, and especially between Jay and Mark when they're doing everything in between and all the main stuff. So for that, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for having me on here, guys. Thanks to the chat for putting up with me and my craziness. And love you guys. And this is great. I just love doing this. Let's keep this going.
All right, awesome. And of course, that being said, Mark, is there anything you want to add to this before we go?
Absolutely. Shout out to both of you once again for stepping in, kind of helping us kind of make a fun show for everybody. It's always 10 times better when we have the full NerdCage assemble. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate everybody that has come week after week to come and check this out and kind of help us to grow and kind of get better at this. Anybody that's listening right now or watching right now, check out, we just dropped 3 episodes in the past couple of days. Yep. It's a 3-part episode of it's a retrospective of Home Alone. So anybody who grew up on that, or if maybe you never even watched it, just check out these episodes. We had a ton of fun making them. So they're up now pretty much anywhere that you listen to a podcast, and the audio version is up on YouTube as well.
Oh, we just went to town with that.
Yeah, we had a field day. Yeah, part 3 literally just went on YouTube just before we went on air. So yeah, all 3 parts of the Home Alone Look Back featuring these handsome gentlemen you see on your screen here, Dion and Matthew and Mark. It was an absolute field day. I was in my element talking about this movie, and I think we dug a little bit too deep into it, more than anyone normally would, and that's what made it so much goddamn fun.
Exactly.
The fan theories.
Yes, if you're into Home Alone fan theories and anything else.
That's when the rabbit hole started to get deep.
Right. But it was a field day, and we'll definitely do more look backs with Dion and Matthew, and we have more look backs coming this month. The next look back we're doing is the 5th anniversary of Creed and the 20th anniversary of Unbreakable. Nice. So we're going to be dishing those out this month. And of course, before we go, I can't, if you obviously stick around, I'll play the trailers at the end. But we do have a special guest next week, Joey Z from Life of Agony, Brooklyn, New York. One of Brooklyn, New York's best metal bands ever. He's the guitarist of Life of Agony. He's going to be on with us next week, hanging out. So if you're a diehard Life of Agony fan, maybe you're not a Life of Agony, but if you're an Ozzy Osbourne fan, Typo Negative fan, he'll have stories for you. So I definitely recommend if you're into rock and roll and heavy metal, you're going to want to stick around for next week's show. And Paul Taggart was wondering when our black dates are. We're going to be off for Thanksgiving, and we're going to be off Christmas Eve, and we're going to be off New Year's Eve. And then, of course, we're going to come back strong in December with the almighty debate, is Die Hard a Christmas movie, on December 3rd. December 10th, the mighty Titan Goji will be on the show. Sub that man up. And then, of course, the 17th of December, we have the Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion Revenge animated movie watch party with yours truly, Master Daniel Pacina, coming back to watch this film with us. And that's going to be a hella good time. That's how we're going to end the year, with the mighty Master Pacina. And it's an honor to have him coming back as well.
Yeah, we got a packed schedule these next few weeks. I mean, it's going to be, some of the best shows that we've done so far. And in between, we're going to have a ton of new content, new podcasts coming out, new video of some of the audio podcasts that we've already released, including the Superman 2-part episode, as well as the 3-part Home Alone that I just mentioned a few minutes ago.
Yeah, so don't fear. Yes, we're going to be taking the live streams off those days, but there'll still be content coming out while we're taking our little break. So Don't worry, there will be content coming. We're not going to completely abandon everybody. And again, before we go, let me just, like I said, shout out Scry one last time. Scry Productions, Godzilla Apex. Sub that man up. Hardworking dude, funny guy. Like I said, we're gonna squeeze him in here on NerdCage Live for sure. In 2021, we're gonna. Mark and I are gonna sit down and plot 2021 for sure. So
Yes.
we're constantly working on the show. It's a never-ending story. Never-ending like grueling work that we put into this channel. So it's constantly planning. So
Here's to a better future.
I was gonna say, I'm tired just listening to it. I'm just like,
I was just gonna say.
You cast a grind, and I love it. I love it.
Hell yeah. And like I said, I just wanted to just give love to these guys one more time. Matthew, man, I miss living with you. But I'm glad that we're still working together, doing this and other things. And I'm glad we stay in touch all the time, man. And I'm really proud of how your voice acting career is starting to snowball a little more and more every time we talk. So keep up the good work, man. I know the grind's tough on there. I know Hollywood's a weird place. That's why we call it Hollyweird. But you know what? I know you're gonna come out on top of this. And Dion, again, dude, I love talking to you, and I love listening to your show. Listening to your show Off the Beaten podcast makes me feel closer to you, and I can't wait till we finally get to hang out, hopefully soon. And honestly, God, and Mark,
hell yeah,
Mark, my boss and my partner in crime, thank you for putting up with me, and thank you for believing in me in this channel, man. So it's been really an honor to work with you, and I'm glad that we reconnected, years later to do this.
Yeah, we're in it together, man. It's fun. It's a good time.
Yes.
So let's wrap this up, man. I'm hungry. Bring us home.
Again, it's a blessing to work with you guys, and it's an honor to be your friend. And for everybody in the chat, thank you so goddamn much. We promise we're going to keep working hard for you guys. So, so I'll do my little normal spear. So before we go, we ask you to pretty please like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and spread your shit like syphilis. So to you, I say, from Louisville to Syracuse to Chicago to Los Angeles, and to all of our friends and fans around the world at NerdCage Live, enjoy life, stay safe, and good night, and stick around for the upcoming trailers.
Sayonara.
Yes, sir. Good night, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, hide your girlfriend, hide your wives, lock up your doors, run for your life, because Titan Goji will be on NerdCage Live. And as a result, that's right, December 10th, 2020.
Put the cookie down! Now!
Kidnap Mr. Santa Claus?
It has begun!
Trying to get out of the nerd cage, are ya? Well, before you go, hit that subscribe button. And if you're really intrigued, ring that bell. Thank you for dropping by. Until next time, tell everyone you know about NerdCage Live!
Thank you very much, everybody. You guys are amazing. We'll be here next week with Joey Z. Thank you for spending your Thursday night with us. Everybody be safe out there, and we'll all get through this.
See you.